following program is intended for mature audiences.
It's the music, movies, and shows you love.
As if we cared.
And hate.
You ain't gonna like it none.
And love to hate.
I didn't expect that at all.
This is The Broken Remote.
Hey, coming to you live on tape on this Monday, August 8th, 2022. The Thrill and myself look to tackle the multiverse today. But before we do that, the question on everybody's mind is, what college milestone did you try to conquer this weekend, Will? Last week it was funnels. Did you do keg stands this weekend? Gravity bongs? Did you smoke a big old blunt? What did we get ourselves into?
I wish it was even drinking a single beer. I was studying this weekend like a fucking virgin.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel, man.
Terrible.
Test is done, though, so back to the summer of bachelor parties that I need to attend.
Terrible.
Yeah,
What a thorough letdown. You build all the way up to it and then fucking nothing.
That is... You can voice it, you can put little jingles on it. I internally feel so much worse when you see Saturday go by and you're looking at a textbook going, this is my life? I thought I was done with this.
Oh, well, I mean, come on. I'm a married father of two. My weekends are all like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, the only craziness I get is when I decide to dabble and try to go to one of the new dispensaries and buy myself some
that's
edibles.
Right. I keep forgetting those are available now, even though I smell weed constantly.
Oh my God!
In the city.
In the city, forget it. We went to.
Oh, it's everywhere. Yeah.
All right. So 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, a friend of mine down the street, his kids, his wife, my wife, our kids, we all got a van. We went. Yeah. He ended up getting us a box at MSG for WWE Raw. So we're like, this will be good. We'll bring the kids. It's gonna be fucking late, I mean, the thing starts at 8, ends at 11. Kids are like 7, 11, 10. They're not gonna make it, but whatever. Experience. So we take them in. The van pulls up right next to MSG. Door opens, and boom! Just a big waft of weed smoke right up all in your face, right? I mean, it was instantaneous when you opened the door that you just smelled some weed. And so I don't remember if it was my oldest or my youngest, but gets out of the car and he's like, smell those food trucks? And it was like, yeah, those aren't food trucks, son. Those are not food trucks. And don't breathe in too much. Just keep walking. Make your way to the entrance there.
I'm very jealous of your kids because I associate that smell with like the back of my gym or the gymnasium where kids would just kind of do it on the stairs in between classes trying to be, they all thought they were sly. The gym teacher knew exactly what was going on. He was like, I don't have time for this shit.
Right.
Yeah, and now kids are just going to be like, so I just walked down the street and I got some. And it's like, what's the big deal? And by the way, the stuff we have now, way better than you were when you were a teenager, Dad. It's like, oh, fuck me, I guess. Great.
Yeah, I mean, it is, I'm not ancient. I guess I'm older, but I mean,
this is me too.
Way better than the dirt that I used to smoke for the longest time, right? Like when I was going, it was like, oh, can you get Kind Bud? Ooh, got Kind Bud. That was the big fancy terminology, Kind Bud, Oh, get Hydro. I got some Hydro. And now forget it, This is, mint julep, cotton candy, Kush. Okay, yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, that's a Starburst flavor, first of all. But it's just, like, I do it maybe twice a year, like with friends or something. I just have not taken advantage of it now. But whenever I do it, I go fucking insane. Like, they've been working on this shit like it's a cure for cancer.
Oh, well.
And just
yeah, except the only thing it does is just fucking put you in outer space.
I know, exactly. It's like, if it wasn't, like, we would have solved cancer if the same amount of passion towards just making you go on a rocket ship.
Why can't they put this kind of innovation behind cancer technology?
COVID would have lasted
not cancer technology, but you know what I mean.
COVID would have lasted a week if we had the same people working on that shit.
It's pretty crazy when you step back and you think about it. You're like, how did we get here? Oh, my God.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like you make the mistake. You hang out with some people that do it more frequently, and so we were at a thing. This was like a year ago with some friend of a friend, and this guy had like those little gummies, and he was like
Yeah.
yeah. And he gives us, and he's like, how often do you guys do it? To me and my other friend, we're like, we never really do it. And he's like, you should only take half of that. We're like, okay.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
30 minutes go by, and we're like, I'm not feeling anything. Okay, well that's probably good, And everyone's made that mistake when they were like in their late teens, but now we're adults. We feel like we're accomplished. And then the guy walks by again. He says, how you feeling? Like, I don't really feel it yet. He's like, how much did you have? We had half. You said only take half. What are you, bunch of fucking pussies? and so then what am I supposed
Loser!
to do?
You loser!
And so then we took the rest of it, and it was a stressful night after that.
Of course. Well,
yeah.
that's kind of, it's funny because, back in my heyday, used to love rolling a gigantic blunt, right? I mean, or doing stupid stuff like, emptying out an entire cigar and then just packing it all the way down to the butt end with herb and just, gravity bongs and double bongs and triple bongs and throwing ice water. I mean, you just used to, because, again, it was junk. And now I couldn't even imagine doing any of that with the stuff that they have now because I just probably, my brain would probably pop.
I was gonna say, yeah.
You need so little to get to where it was. But then again, growing up now, your tolerance would just go accordingly, right? So
Exactly. I imagine you have a couple bad nights, and then after that, you're totally fine.
yeah, you're like, it is what it is.
Yeah, when you do it infrequently, and you like, let me take a step back, and you go, oh my God, it's not stepping into a pool anymore. It's like a brackish black pool that has alligators in it.
Yeah.
And you go, like you accidentally turn
It's
over
like Stranger
one leaf.
Things. It's like the other side.
Exactly.
It's like the upside down.
It's exactly like that. And then you're like, oh, here's something that bothered me from middle school I completely forgot about. Oh, God. And then you have that for the next 6 hours.
Yeah, well, the past 3 weeks, ever since I went, I forgot the name of the place in Jersey. I think it's Ascend. But anyway, I was like, you know what? I got to check it out. So I got a stop by on my way home, was coming back from my job, stopped. I'm walking in. Some old lady who was probably older lady. She was probably in her 60s, maybe 70s. But she looked like she was a hippie chick. And she, makes a beeline toward me. And I'm like, oh, what is this? And I'm in kind of work clothes, right? So she comes over. She's like, you know what, man? It's just, I mean, look at all of us out here. Everybody smokes, dude. It's like everybody does it, right? It's like, why did it take them so fucking long? And I'm like, I don't know you. I don't want to talk to you.
Why are you here?
Just
Don't
because,
talk to me.
this is definitely not the 60s, the 70s. It's not even the 80s or the 90s. This is 2022. People hate each other. We don't want to talk to each other. Just because we're in line to go buy weed doesn't mean that we're buddies. So, just mosey on along. And so we're just talking. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm trying to make small talk. And I'm just like, just at one point, maybe she'll stop talking to me. And she did. Thank God. Thank you. Thank you for, I lucked out there.
About time. Yeah, they usually don't do that. Oh my God.
Right.
I become like Eric Cartman, where he just has this visceral hatred of hippies, and I feel the same way. I can't stand them.
Seriously, dude, you fucking hippies everywhere.
Like, you can't stand
And so,
hippies as well.
right. And so I bought a bunch of shit. Now, my only point is that the past 3 weeks, I literally have been scientifically testing exactly how much my body can take. So it's like I cut the gummies up into fourths, and then I was like, I'll take one, and then I'll take two, and then I got the dry herb, and I'm like, I'll do it in a vaporizer. No, and then I'll try one pull, then I'll try two.
Yeah.
And then, like you said,
There's too many options now, dude. And then the moment you do a little bit, you go a little too far.
Oh,
No.
we're at a bar last Monday night, and it's me, my buddy, his friend, who I know. But anyway, we're going back and forth. He's like, I don't like the vaporizer because it doesn't really hit me, hard enough. And I said, yeah, it is kind of calm and smooth, and I like it.
Dude, oh my God.
And so we're out
whole
front.
minute.
I'm about to leave, and he's just like, here, take this instead. And he basically sticks his dugout in my mouth, and he's just like, yeah, he lights it, and I'm like, okay, fine, why not? And just straight smoking it whacked me I couldn't even tell you. I went home, I put my CPAP mask on because I'm just a big, older mess. And so I'm like, I can't breathe on the CPAP mask. I'm going to take this off. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I'm never going to bed. It's over. It's never happening again. And so at this point, I'm just, I just can't do it. I've lost my mojo. I've lost the mojo.
Yeah, I mean, we could get a whole conversation on vaping. The amount of fucking kids I know that are just vaping and just chronically just gave themselves a nicotine addiction that does nothing else.
Oh, you mean the
regular vape,
the regular
vapes,
vaping? Yeah,
But,
that stuff is junk, right? You want to do that?
That's
go
so
smoke
stupid.
cigarettes. You're gonna
So
get
stupid.
you're
Exactly.
gonna
Like,
you're gonna get
look
cancer
like
either
Peter
way.
Fonda. Look like Peter Fonda in a fucking motorcycle. Like the cigarette looks cool to me. Maybe I'm stupid for thinking that, but there's a coolness air about smoking a cigarette on with a leather jacket on a motorcycle. The vape, you look like the biggest fucking tool of
Driving
all
down
time.
the highway, just puffing
Yeah.
clouds out.
Gotta do my vape real quick, bro. It's like I want to throw you in a locker. So
Did
bad.
you see that cloud? I just puffed out my fucking moonroof.
They do it at
No.
work. Oh,
Hell
man.
no. And they just
Anyway.
walk around. The device is like the size of their entire palm. It weighs down the one pocket that they put them on. They got to wear cargo pants so that they can carry the damn thing.
Exactly. You got to have secret pockets inside your work pants because they do it at work all the time. It's so stupid.
I just don't. I remember when it was like my last Deloitte. I worked at Deloitte at one point, and it was the last engagement I was on. And it was financial. It was an FX trading company downtown that we were auditing. And I had like the lead of either tech or their systems. I go to his desk and he just sitting there with a vape. It was like the fake cigarette vape. It wasn't a machine. It was actually like they made him to look like cigarettes at his desk. And I'm like waiting to get these documents, and he's just sitting there huffing this vape, just blowing it out. And I was like, this is like the 70s all over again. But, it's okay because for some reason, vapes are not, frowned upon. And now they're outlawed everywhere, so you can't do this shit anyway. So,
Yeah.
remember when they had the thing with the was it the Juuls? Where they were like, kids are dying. Kids are dying everywhere. And it was a bit, and I think it actually could have been COVID, to be honest. It was like right around the time of COVID. Remember, they were like,
that's right.
Yeah. These
Oh
kids
my
can't
God.
breathe. They're dying.
I also 100% expect us all to find out that phones in our pockets give us testicular cancer, and the Juuls will probably also be horrible in 40 years. Yeah, it's all gonna happen.
Everything that we have made to better our society, it's all just going to kill us.
It's all garbage. But on to something that's a little more recent that's corporate society.
All right.
Let's
hop over.
Maybe not immediately Marvel, but I just want to quickly talk about the Batwoman movie.
Oh,
and just
yes.
that clusterfuck.
I did read a little bit about it, so continue on and do tell.
I mean, I know probably as much as the next guy, but essentially what happened was Warner Brothers was going to put up this, I'm assuming it was just a spin-off of all these other DC movies. I have no idea if these are connected at all anymore. And they spent, I believe, 80 to 90 million dollars is what this is saying here. And then they just fucking canned it because it was so bad after the test screening.
I mean, how more of a reflection can that be of how ridiculous Hollywood is right now? The fact that there is nobody at the wheel at any of these fucking franchises. Maybe Kevin Feige. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I think because didn't Warner Brothers, they got basically they're run by the dude that does Discovery now, right? The guy who does fucking ice truckers and swamp wood carvers.
They just had some kind of earnings call or something like a week ago where this story I think came out of. And the short of it was an awful call. They basically said all of their streaming initiatives are basically just tanking. Mm-hmm. Their movie initiatives, basically being DC, are all off kilter, and they're going to redo everything. I think they're going to take Discovery Plus and roll it up into HBO Max. There's all these talks of, I mean, basically just redoing their entire entertainment streaming platform. It's just, and the problems that they're having with their movie properties, and it's just, I mean, it's mind blowing. How do you get a gigantic company and properties this big and fuck them up that bad? Especially comic books. You have all the comic books right there. Just make one into a movie.
So what do you think they canceled it for? Because now I'm reading, obviously the way they're streaming things is probably not profitable. But they're also saying that it was just so bad on its own as a movie, and was just like there's people that are saying like the film overall was incomprehensible and obnoxious, is what the direct is saying. Whatever the fuck this
Yeah,
magazine is.
well, think about it. You got, okay, so you're going to take Batgirl, right? Which,
Yeah.
the only, look, I'm not a diehard DC fan, but I don't think there are many diehard DC fans. There's infinitely more Marvel than DC, and that's a fact.
Nowadays, yeah, I would have argued with you 15 years ago,
Yeah,
but
I
not
mean,
anymore. Yeah,
Batman will always carry water. Superman's dead. He's finished, right? You might as well bury that guy.
That one upsets me so much because he's my favorite superhero, but they just don't
there's just
know
no
what
stories.
the fuck to do with him. They're so bad at him.
They can't convert the stories. They can't figure out what to do with him new. They can try to rehash old stuff, but it's been done before, right? So,
I know.
but
they have shitty fucking writers.
They go and they do Batgirl, right? Like, and it's kind of like, why would you do Batgirl? Of all the properties you have at your hands and that you could toy with, you're gonna take Batgirl, right? An offshoot of if you do Batgirl, you know that the entire audience is just gonna want Batman. That's it. Maybe they'll take Robin or Nightwing or whatever
you
iteration.
Made another follow to Michael Keaton's Batman. No, I'm not interested in redoing that. No, you should do. Oh, I know, Batgirl. That's what the people want.
Stupid up in here!
No shit, Steve.
Oh, God.
I don't understand it at all. But I can understand why it tanked for sure.
Oh, I'm very sad I'm never going to be able to watch it because I'm sure it was just filled with every fucking cliche and just horrible.
Okay, let's take a chick and we'll put her in the lead role. We'll make a female superhero. We'll probably, I don't even know who is. I imagine now Barbara Gordon. Well, here's another thing, right? So I don't know the multiverse of DC, right? But
yeah.
Commissioner Gordon, to me, was always this old white dude with a mustache, right?
Yes.
And he was played originally by, I forgot the guy from the Batman, from the Michael Keaton Batmans, but then he was done by Gary Oldman in the Christian Bale
they had
ones.
J.K. Simmons, though, for this one, and he's an amazing actor.
Then they had J.K. Simmons, right? And so J.K. Simmons was in this one?
Yeah, he was going to be the James Gordon, which I was actually like.
So he was going to continue his role in the DC Extended for this Batgirl.
I would have been pumped for that part. Yeah, the Michael Keaton for some reason.
So who was the girl they had cast? Because I would have bet my life that they probably would have made it a minority female hire.
Yes. Oh, wow. Oh, so you did see it. Yeah.
I'm just because you could just check the boxes. But here's the deal: is that I guess they could probably do an adopted daughter.
Grace, she is a Dominican.
Yeah, so it probably would have been.
Okay,
I mean, I don't know how they would have backed it into it, right? J.K. Simmons being a super white bald guy, but
it should be half. Probably that's what they do. Yeah.
Yeah, they could do the half thing, or they could do an adopted or whatever, But I mean, again, so what kind of theme are you going to do? Are you going to do the Christian Bale realistic type of, movie? Are you going to do the Schneider-verse type of feel? Are you going to do a Marvel? Like, how are you going to do it? And then on top of that, compare, like, the Black Widow movie sucked.
Right? Oh, that's right. That came out. I forgot. I literally watched part of that, and then I just went, I have better things to do.
Yeah.
It just wasn't interesting. It wasn't even that it was bad. I was just bored, and I was like, I've seen this movie before.
Well, as they try to insert new heroes and heroines, the logic breaks because when you watch it, it just doesn't make sense, right? Did you see the new Hawkeye? I've only watched a couple episodes.
No, my sister watched the whole thing.
Ugh.
She thought it was fine. Which is like my family's code word for don't waste your time, but it's inoffensive. But she watched it. She said it was fine, and that was my cue to be like, okay, no urge to watch this movie about the most boring of the Avengers.
For sure. And it gets even worse because to that point, most boring Avengers. So then they take a high school girl, and I forgot her relation, but it's a high school girl, and she's a crazy archer. But she also has all of this physical abilities, even though she's not a superhero, and she's jumping over cars, and she's taking big bumps. There's no broken bones. And all of a sudden, you're just like, hold on. I'm out of it. I'm out. Like,
and for that reason, I'm out. Yeah,
like
that is.
I had a little bit of difficulty when it was the regular Hawkeye, in the Avenger movies because the stuff that he was doing wasn't really believable. But now it's like a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah,
I'm done.
I
gotta
love
punch
when
out.
people get upset. It's like, oh, you have Batman next to Superman, and Superman he's basically a god, and I'm like, okay, but Batman's a billionaire, and that's as close to a god a human being could personally get.
Yeah,
A fucking Archer?
DC
Like, really?
Stark. Yeah, an Archer.
Really? Come on. It's so stupid.
He's got a great eye.
Yeah, I love that. SNL had a great bit about it, where it's like, all right, Avengers, go attack the aliens. And the Hulk's like, Hulk smashed 30. Iron Man killed 45. What about you? Hawkeye, 7.
I didn't see that one. Who was in it?
What do you mean? It was Jeremy Renner. Like, he was just making fun of his character.
It was.
Years ago. It was years ago. He's like, I got 7. I had 7 arrows. I hit 7 of them, and now I'm done. I'll meet you guys at shawarma. And I was
That's
like,
fantastic.
I was like, they get it. Good.
It's right on the money.
Yeah.
But
It's just
the core theme of that sketch is basically what tanked Batgirl.
yeah.
It's that it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, and it's also like I think people are kind of like, you can have a good female superhero. Like, it's not hard to do. There's plenty of them, but
But it's
some
got to make
reason
sense.
they also just shove like girl power. That's the theme of our movie is girl power. Did you see this chauvinistic man in the first act? Well, she's about to girl boss her way over him, and you just have to think, wow, I haven't seen this in every other movie with a female actress in the last 10 years. You guys are so cool. I've never seen someone do this before. That if you ever get the chance, even though it's so bad, Wonder Woman 1984 was
Oh,
just
yeah, we
like,
were talking about that, and I was going to say the Wonder Woman character works. I don't know if the movies worked, but the character works.
It did in the first one, and then the second one comes out, and you just watch and you go, how is this the same people? Because you have like the good example of like the female
for sure
superhero, and then the second where you go, oh my god, we get it. Like, did you see this one character? He's kind of a chauvinist. Girl boss power. And
roll eyes and scene.
I'm glad this isn't going to be the next 2.5 hours of this movie. Oh, it is? Never mind.
Yeah, the problem that they've got to figure out is how do they tap in to the property and heroes and heroines that actually exist and just replicate that on screen without trying to, I don't know, like reinvent the wheel.
Tax write-off.
Yeah, right, a tax write-off. You know, like, okay, if Batgirl worked, where were you going to take it? Right?
Yeah.
Like, that thought process never seems to apply to anyone in Hollywood right now. There is never like, okay, if this works, then what? It's always like, no, we just got to, let's see if this works first. And then afterward, we'll figure it out. And that's how you get The Last Jedi, right? Because, Force Awakens, okay, Last Jedi, car crash, and then we're stuck.
God, they have so many movies. I just don't. The Shazam movie was good. I like that one.
Yeah, they got Shazam 2 coming out.
They got a sequel coming out. Okay, kind of pumped for that. Aquaman was so stupid, but in like a fun way.
It was watchable, but I wouldn't rewatch it.
So exactly, it was. Back to a conversation about weed. If I was baked out of my mind, I would have loved Aquaman.
So go visit Ascend. And
Black Adam. Oh God, I've just never
pick up some mint julep, cotton candy, Kush, or whatever it is, and and then watch yourself some Aquaman.
I love that they canceled Batgirl for being too bad, yet they still have the Flash as upcoming, despite Ezra Miller being like a legit psychopath.
That guy is complete disaster.
How the fuck? They're like, no, this movie's just so bad. We'll keep the psychopath movie to, that's still coming out despite all of his crazy things.
Now, did he just, I mean, he just smoked too much weed, right? I mean, or he took bad mushrooms or something, or maybe too many tabs of acid.
Acid, like maybe he was just like touched in the head. I don't know, like just maybe he's.
Like chemically something went off.
Something must have happened because I feel like you never saw this shit about this kid beforehand, and now all of a sudden he is just off the goddamn deep end.
I think didn't they yank him? Like this Flash thing is it for him?
I'm assuming I would I'll be bummed because I'm watching this movie just to see what a clusterfuck this is. This is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm
God
almost
damn.
positive they pulled the plug on
They
his
cannot
Flash
catch a break.
after this, whatever the movie is. I forget what it's called. Flash multiverse bullshit.
Oh, they have the Blue Beetle coming out. That's like their version of Spider-Man, but weirder, right? I'm pretty sure.
I'm not a DC aficionado, so
Yeah.
I just know the hits. That's my deal. So, and in regard to Keaton, they're so screwy. They take Michael Keaton, they take him off the, they take him off the shelf, they dust him off, they get everybody's appetite and beaks, wet with anticipation here. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, yeah, he's going to be in Flash. He is. He's going to be in Aquaman 2. He was. And we're going to put him into Batgirl. He was. And then they just yanked all of them. So he actually is going to be in the Flash one, but they ripped him out of Aquaman 2, and they're sticking Affleck back in it. And then he shot these scenes for Batgirl, and he's not going to be in that now either. So they've just wasted this whole slow burn for the Keaton reunion.
Yeah.
You're going to see him in the Flash, and then that's it.
Yeah, I just saw that he's in the Flash. What the fuck?
Yeah. So he's going to be in that,
weird.
as is Affleck. Affleck's going to be in that too. And so now you thought you were going to get him in 3 other properties. Now you're going to get him in 1. The other 2,
Dude, this is
down the hill.
This is legit. Like, there's a cigar chomping executive who just read the flash notes of what the MCU is currently like, and he goes, "This makes a lot of money. Yeah, do this multiverse thing now. Who is an older Batman? Keaton."
I love the old
Yeah.
the old accent throwback.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's Michael
John-
Keaton doing right about now?
Yeah, Michael Keaton, he was a good Batman. Bring him on. Yeah.
People loved him. Jack Nicholson.
He was in that MCU thing.
Has he stopped drooling out the side of his mouth yet? Maybe he could do a fucking couple lines as Joker.
Ezra Miller, he seems like a fine, upstanding young man. Let's bring him on board to headline this $200 million movie. Holy shit.
And I know he's crazy. Just up his fucking drugs. Everybody, give him more Prozac or whatever he needs. Just throw it down the kid's gullet. Just get him off the streets, goddammit.
No, can you imagine putting this much fucking money in a movie and then it all gets thrown by the wayside because you didn't fucking, check your main actor for being insane?
Again, just where's the forethought? Where's the thought process in any of it? What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Shit, dude. That's so dumb.
I sit to do my stupid job, which is not stupid. I like my company, but I go to do my job, and I think about, okay, I'm going to do A, that leads to B, that leads to C. What's going to happen at D when I hand this off? What's going to... Yeah. Like, that process goes in for a peanuts-making job, right?
Yeah.
And
you put in, a little bit of forethought, and look where it takes you. Meanwhile, they didn't do that at all.
Zero.
They are walking in a house and they're just firing that shotgun into every room to try to kill the zombie, and they just realize it's like a foster home for, sad little orphan kids. And they go, "Oh, should have read the address first. That's my bad."
There you go. Completely out of left field, but I did watch Prey this weekend.
Oh, how was that? Yeah, was
okay.
that? Please be good.
It
Please.
was.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good.
No.
Okay.
I can't. All right. So, and I listened to a podcast with the director. It was on the Ringer podcast network, and the guy was really solid, and I loved hearing all of his thoughts into the movie, and it was really thought out well. And I thought it was done good. And, I mean, he got robbed because he made this movie to be in the movie theaters, on big screens.
Right? Yeah.
And then they just yanked it, and they're like, we're going to, Hulu with it. So his dream of having this big release, that's what it's on. It's on Hulu. So having this release, in the theaters for a revitalization, reintroduction of a big IP property got basically just smashed. And
got shafted, yeah.
Shit down the toilet. So, but anyway, it came out, and it's gotten tons of great reviews.
It looks fucking cool, because that last Predator movie, everyone hated.
Look, I liked 1, I liked 2, and I didn't like any after that, right? And, I've seen them all.
The general consensus, I think.
And they're all junk. But this one, look, I think it was right up there below 1. Maybe on par with 2. I like 2 for different reasons. 2's like bad, cheesy fun, right?
Yeah.
2's like Jaws 3
like,
to me.
it's
right?
like
Predator
Aliens
2.
too.
You've seen the Jawses, right? Everybody's
Yeah,
seen Jaws 1. But
Everyone's
like
seen Jaws. Yeah.
Jaws 3 was terrible good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
With Randy Quaid and, the sharks in SeaWorld and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
But it's bad good. You can watch it and be in it. That's kind of Predator 2. It's bad, but it's good.
Sharknado-esque, but not on purposely bad.
Yes, exactly, right? And so, and it was 3D, so there's like some funny, terrible stuff in that.
3D.
Yeah. So when there's like something just sitting in the middle of the screen, just floating and turning around, it's like, why did they do that? Oh, that's right, because back in the day, you were in the theater, you had to put the glasses on, and that was a big thing. But, Predator 2 was bad good. This one was right there, but it was good. The only thing that took me out of it, they did something to try to counteract this, was that it's set in 1715 with Comanche Indians, and they speak perfect English. And it just took me out of it from the beginning, and it took me a little bit to get over that. Because it's supposed to be a period piece, and they did everything else so good, but I can't get over the English because I'm like, you guys don't talk English. And then there's there's trappers that come in later, and they're French, and they're speaking French, and it's like, hold on, the Comanche Indians are speaking English, but the French people are speaking French. I don't understand it. So it was the only part that took me out of it. Outside of that, I thought it was shot great. I was entertained by it. It's an hour and like 20 minutes, easy to get through. It's the alien itself, the Predator, who has a technical name and I don't know what it is, but is a different looking Predator, which is kind of cool. Yeah. And it was definitely worth the watch. I was pleasantly surprised by it.
I'm kind of fucking pumped by that shit. That's,
now,
thank God.
What I want to do, and this is what I was alluding to earlier, where they did something to try to counteract the fact that they spoke English. They went back and re-recorded all of the audio in Comanche. So there's an option in Hulu where you can watch the video. You can watch the movie with them speaking
their lips
Comanche.
Don't sync, though, right?
No, their lips are speaking English. But it's like once you watch it once.
Can the actors and actresses speak Comanche? I imagine, because I imagine that's
they
like the hard part.
They all, from what I understood on the podcast I was listening to with the director, they all came in and redubbed their parts in Comanche.
That's nuts. Holy shit.
So what I want to do now is I want to watch the movie over again in Comanche and see if it adds to the viewing, because that'll eliminate that part that was disjointing for me.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking awesome. God damn.
But it was it was a good flick, definitely worth watching. So
yeah, I'm definitely curious about that. I have considering how there's so many like famous franchises that they'll dig up and then just completely just throw in the dirt without any care. Like, hey, remember how this was part of your childhood or something you kind of like loved and cherished? And they just curve stomp it right in front of you.
Smash it.
It's like, you don't get to have anything. No.
You like the Transformers? Well, we just destroyed it. We're going to throw knights into it.
Oh, God. Fucking. Those
all sparks.
Movies,
all this stuff you never heard of before in your life.
The first one, the 2007 one, was I was in middle school or something, or like late elementary. It was one of the two. Me and my friend were jones into that movie. We fucking loved it. And then the sequel came out, and we were just like, this movie sucks. Like, what the fuck happened?
It was no good. And literally, I was excited to see the first one. I didn't like it at all. I don't like Michael Bay anything.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I get that.
But I remember walking out, and the only thing that really, blunted the movie for me was the fact that they did find Megan Fox, and she was super hot for like 2 years. And so it was like, I don't know what happened in that movie, but that girl was really cute.
Yeah, right, yeah. I think that was everyone's reaction walking out of there. It was like, God fucking damn, she's attractive.
Right. Megatron sucked, but she was good looking.
He was cool until he like destroyed Optimus for like, I don't know. There's like 8 more of those Transformer movies that have come out since then that have just gotten
Bumblebee was good.
More and ridiculous.
Bumblebee was good.
I've never watched.
You never saw it? Oh yeah. I mean, it was an ET ripoff. They took the ET entire plot line and then just made Bumblebee ET.
The director, I forget his full name, but he's Phil Knight's son, and he's like you'd assume he's like, oh, you're Phil Knight's son, your daddy's little boy. You're not going to have that much. He's actually super fucking talented as a director.
Really?
And,
I've
like,
never even heard of him.
All of his shit that he's made that I've seen, which Bumblebee's like the one that I've not yet, is always solid to like a weird degree where you're like, oh, you actually have a lot of talent. Fuck me.
Well, let's see. The Bumblebee movie director is Travis Knight. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, Travis Knight. There we go. I knew it was something like that. Yeah.
And let's see, IMDb. Let's see what else he's done. He's a director. Is that his thing?
Yeah, he's a director. Yeah, he does a lot of like stop motion stuff. I think his dad set up something for him.
Action department, producer. He's directed 4.
Yeah.
He did Kubo and the Two Strings, Bumblebee,
that was amazing. Yep.
Wildwood, and he's doing the $6 billion Man.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, I guess they're redoing.
$6 million.
Well, not 6 million, $6 billion.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
That's got to be something in. Yeah, there's not even. Oh,
that'll get you like.
Do you know who's the top cast? Take a stab.
Michael Keaton.
Remember, Hollywood really likes to step outside their comfort level.
Oh no, Chris Pratt.
No, but you're along the. You're thinking along the same lines. I'll give you 3 options. I'll put you on the clock.
Okay, here we go. What do we got?
Go ahead.
Oh, 3 out. Okay, here we go. Chris Pine. I'm just gonna go with the Chris's. Was that it? No.
That was one. That's one whammy.
Okay, that was one. Okay.
No whammies. No whammies. Stop.
Chris Hemsworth.
All right. Okay. Last one. Last one.
Travis. Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, look at that!
Yes. Oh,
are you looking on the Are you looking on the?
Of course I looked it
up.
Oh,
yeah. You bum! Boo!
That said, I also looked up who he's worked with before, and Mark Wahlberg.
I'm just giving you shouts of booze.
Yeah, boo. I deserve it. I'm such a piece of shit. There we go.
Stupid asshole. That's exactly what he is.
Yes, Mark Wahlberg. He's the man.
Oh my god. Yeah, that is wow, they say no, we're gonna keep him going till he is dead in the ground. No, we will never let him go.
Has there been a movie that he's done that has commanded people? I mean, they literally just throw him in a movie just because I think he's got the money. He probably does the executive production on them all, so he puts himself in it. Nobody goes to see a movie to see Marky Mark. I'm sorry, it's over.
I don't think so.
It's over.
I don't think so. I just don't.
Funky Bunch is done.
Uncharted. He did that Uncharted movie that everyone.
It was
hated.
terrible.
It was so bad. I mean, everyone I know that like I don't really play the games of Uncharted because I just never have. But everyone that I know that's a big fan of those games was very upset by that movie, and they're like, "Why the fuck was Tom Holland, Nathan Drake?"
None of it made sense.
Tom Holland's, yeah. Oh.
So here we go. I am just going to. Where's Mark Wahlberg? I don't want the producer. I want the actor. Here we go. So I am just going to start ripping through. Why don't we go 2000 and I don't know 2008. Max Payne. Nobody cared. It wasn't great.
No.
The Lovely Bones I never saw. Date Night was awesome. Had nothing to do with him.
Lovely Bones.
He did have a time. He did have a good part in Date Night, but he wasn't the guy. The other guys I liked.
That was a great movie.
The Fighter. Don't care. I know it was like acclaimed, but again, Contraband. No, it's another shoot 'em up that was really kind of mediocre. Ted, funny at the time.
That was great.
No rewatch value though.
Mm-hmm.
Broken City, Pain and Gain with The Rock, Two Guns. I mean, none of these. Lone Survivor was good. Lone Survivor was a good one. Transformer: Age of Extinction. Oh, they brought him into Transformers to resurrect that one.
He was in Transformers, but you're also forgetting his most famous movie today, and I'm kind of upset. How could you forget about The Happening?
I think it was before 2008. I think I just started.
I know.
I started
I'm just
later.
saying that's my favorite. That's the best Marky Mark movie of all time.
I mean, name one of these movies that was like, oh my God, everybody went to go see it because it was a Marky Mark movie and it was awesome. Transformers: Age of Extinction, The Gambler, Mojave, Ted 2, Daddy's Home, Deepwater Horizon, Patriots Game, Transformers Again, Daddy's Home 2, All the Money in the World, Mile 22, Instant Family, Spencer Confidential, Scoob, Joe Bell, Infinite, Uncharted, Father Stu. I mean, it is just nothing but fucking bombaroos.
Yeah.
Bombaroos.
Lot of interesting choices here. Don't worry, he's going to be in his own he's going to be his own what's it called? Marvel movie soon. So that'll be fine.
Oh yeah, he's not in the MCU. He's not in the MCU.
Not yet. It's only a matter of time before that takes it over. It's a fucking parasitic organism that will take over all of society till we're all a part of the MCU. We all have our own individual movie.
Well, we have the next phases all lined up, and we were wanting to talk about Marvel, so we'll hop into it here because, like we said, I don't know where Mark Wahlberg factors into the MCU, but I'm sure it'll be somewhere. We're in the multiverse saga now. Why don't I know you hate time travel, but why don't we hop in the DeLorean? We go 88 miles an hour, hit 1.7 million gigawatts, and let's go back, do a quick rewind. Endgame just came out tonight. We all went to go see it. It wrapped up phases 1, 2, and 3. Mm-hmm. What are your quick thoughts on the initial 3-phase trilogy of the MCU?
Initial 3 phases I thought were really fun. They were great movies on like a Saturday night to go see with your friends, maybe get a little drunk for. The first 2 Thor movies, this is going to be controversial. They weren't good.
First one was okay. I didn't mind the first one.
It was fine. It was fine. But then the third one was amazing. That was somehow one of the best.
Ragnarok was great.
That was great. The first Guardians of the Galaxy was amazing.
Yep.
No one saw that coming.
Second one, I didn't like as much.
Same here. Yeah, exactly the same. And then there weren't any other ones that like jump. I mean, the first Iron Man everyone loves. That was a great movie.
Well, you want to talk about whiffaroos?
Go for it. Yeah, these are the important. Everyone knows the first 3 phases were pretty solid. I think.
I think ultimately they pulled off the long form, the long form storytelling or the long end goal, and they pulled off being able to intertwine. I don't know how many movies there was in the end, but all of them, that each piece added a little bit while maintaining their own individuality, and then you got this big payoff at the end, which ended up being Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. Even though, look, I mean, that shit was all written out in comic books. Why I don't know Warner Brothers can't figure this out. I mean, it's pretty easy.
No. They got to do it on their own. No,
right. They got to reinvent the wheel. But with all that said, I mean, there was some whiffaroos from 1, 2, and 3. You want to talk about movies? You named a couple. I will say, phase 1, 2, 3 whiffs. Thor: Dark World was terrible. I did not think Iron Man 2 and 3 were good. The original Hulk movie with Ed Norton was no good.
I saw that, and I was so young. Like, that was when I still liked Michael Bay's Transformer movies, so I thought that movie was good at the time. I've not watched it since, so I'm going to trust you on this, that it was definitely not.
It just didn't, if you see it on TV, you might watch it for like 10, 15 minutes, and then you're done with it. But overall, it really didn't fit into all of the other movies. It was disjointed. I think it was one of the earliest ones, too.
Yeah.
And so, it just had a different theme. It had a different feel to it. Nothing really felt like everything else. Avengers: Age of Ultron was horrendous. I don't want to say Thor: Dark World bad, but, I mean, the Ultron character, they botched so badly.
It was weird because he was just... Like, the initial trailers that came out for that movie, people were so hyped for James Spader voicing him because, like, he did that fucking "I've got no strings" to hit. Like, that was terrifying to hear in that voice, and you thought he was going to play it really seriously, and then he just becomes evil Tony Stark.
Well,
that was what was upsetting to me. I was like, no, just have an evil guy who's just evil. Don't make him quit. Right. What the fuck?
And this was also during the time of the Chris Nolan Batman trilogy, so you're comparing superhero movies at the time. And Marvel never tried to do the super realistic approach, but it had a feel to it that it was like, all right, it's kind of based in reality around us. But then you come out with Ultron. It was like, why does Ultron have to have a mouth? Why does he have to have movable metal? Why does he have to have a mouth that talks? Why wouldn't it just be a speaker? I don't understand it. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, and I struggled with the whole damn thing. And so
whoa! Are you saying you don't like Ultron's teeth that they animated?
Just so dumb. Why
robots? How can you not like his teeth?
Robots,
dude? Those
robots
so cool.
don't need vocal apparatuses. They have it's just a speaker. Just put a speaker there.
Oh, and don't forget Captain Marvel.
Oh, well, my last two. Captain Marvel and the Inhumans.
Yeah, that was... Me and my friend watched it the day before Endgame, and it was so bad.
Yeah.
It was so bad. I could not stop rolling my eyes the entire... talk about a movie that's theme is girl boss. I could not stand
It's
that
it, man.
movie.
I mean, it's it. It had nothing to do with the character itself. It was girl superhero movie.
It was... Because I love the idea of Superman. There's so few properties where they get the character of Superman correct, but when they do, there's the original animated Superman from this cartoon I watched in the 90s that was great, and they nailed it. But then this movie was just female version of not understanding how to do Superman and just making them braggadocious and rude and just I'm better than you, and it's just that's not how you do this character if you want me to like them. But she's a dick.
to that extent, to that point, not to that extent, to that point, if you ever watch the superhero movies, the Richard Donner ones from late 70s, early 80s, you can see why that kind of character just doesn't work in this era.
Yeah.
Right? Because that whole do-good thing, you need the people that he's serving, or her serving in the case of Captain Marvel, to actually appreciate and value and this character, and people wouldn't give a shit. They'd be like, oh yeah, it's really cool they flies around and stuff, he's saving some people, he ain't saving me. I just don't see where that type of character, that stereotype has a value in modern era. It just doesn't. At least not to me.
I just, looking at these dude, oh my God, I'm just looking at the Phase 5 and 6. So,
all right,
going more into this other shit.
Oh, no, we'll get there. So, Phase 1, 2, and 3 had their whiffs. I think we talked about a couple of them there that we mentioned. But ultimately, they pulled it off. Do you think in 20 years we'll look as fondly back at the Infinity Gauntlet saga or the Infinity Saga as we are now?
I think it's going to be it'll have been such a trendsetter because it's created these shared universe things of movies and TV shows that you don't really see anywhere else now. This kind of started that whole thing. I think people will have a fondness for the first 3 phases, and I think it will end there.
Yeah, I actually wonder.
People are going to give a shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually wonder if we will look as fondly back at it, because when you start watching them over and over and over again. And this is my one knock to The Landing was, Thanos wasn't in anything until Infinity War.
Which was stupid.
He
was a side character at best, yeah.
He had the one post cameo in Age of Ultron, in the original Avengers.
Guardians of the Galaxy for 3 seconds. Come on, yeah.
All right, yeah, sure. But, even at the beginning, they did the whole court death thing, which is the original comic book line. I think we talked about that 2 weeks ago. We won't go into it again, but it looks like they went into that courting death storyline to begin with, and then pulled in the about face, and it was like, no, he just wants to rid the universe of people. It has nothing to do with courting death. But you really didn't get to see him until the last 2 movies.
Or whatever it was, Infinity War, where he fucking whooped ass in that first one, and then the second one was I just didn't like Endgame. I'm probably one of the few people out there that didn't like it.
Well,
I
you have
hated the
you have
time.
established the time travel just irritated you to no end.
It was the time travel, and then the Thanos they fight at the end of the movie. Technically, isn't even the Thanos from the last one?
No, that Thanos
Like,
is dead.
Which is bizarre because like here's a Thanos that has absolutely no emotional ties to any of these characters or had like it's almost it is Thanos, but it's technically a different Thanos than the one that we were promised.
Correct. However, I think the assumption was that each Thanos is looking to do the same thing, which is get the Infinity Stones and then rid the galaxy of half their people.
True, but at the same time, like that Thanos had built like a relationship with all those characters in the previous movie.
Sure.
And it was just like I felt cheated by that part. And then the fucking time travel was fucking stupid.
Well,
so stupid.
I mean, I think those are all valid. For me, the fact that he just kind of popped in the last two, it doesn't,
They made Thor fat for no reason.
Well, that was dumb too, right?
That was stupid. Yeah.
I mean, that was all just for comedic value. And then
totally
when you look back, it's kind of like, why did they have Loki lead the aliens? Because the idea wasn't to take over the world, I don't think. I thought the plan was to get the Infinity Stones and then kill half the people. Yeah. But originally Loki was going to be the general of the army, and then that went away. And then literally it was just a whole bunch of stories about Infinity Stones, which they didn't tell you about. I do think part of what saved phases 1, 2, and 3 is that everybody understood what the storyline was, so you didn't have to explain it.
Yeah. But now at this point, like, so I'm going to use, as much as I personally was not a fan of Endgame, I feel like what you just said there, where everyone kind of knew where it was going and what the storyline was, even if you missed a movie or two. Now it's like you got to do your fucking homework on like 8 different properties that come out every month. So you can have any idea of what's going on. And I just like, oh, you don't know about this multiverse? You don't know about this universe where this is happening? Oh, you don't know about this? Well, this TV show takes place in this multiverse, but they're actually linked because of this character, because of this happening. You didn't notice that?
So we jump into the multiverse saga, and here's Phase 4, which we only have 2 things left on Phase 4.
Oh, God,
that's in TV, it's She-Hulk, and on the theater, it's Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Right, but what we've already...
Oh, that's weird. That's weird.
We've chugged through all of these movies, and then I'll get to the TV shows. Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder, and then Black Panther is upcoming. Go over to the MCU on TV, which wouldn't... I don't know. Is it cinematic? It's the MTU? I don't know. They're all related. So... I'm
nervous about Black Panther. That one, they have to walk a fine line to not be like kind of walking over Chadwick Boseman there.
What is it going to add to the storyline? I just don't know where it's going, right? Like Black Panther 1, we kind of knew what it was going to do, right? It was an introduction. It was an introduction to this character. I guess what are they going to do? Introduce the next Black Panther, who it looks to be a female. I don't know who they cast in the role. I think it's supposed to be a sister or something, but
I'm assuming.
I mean, it would probably just be origin story part 2, right? I mean, I don't know if it adds anything to the greater the multiverse saga. However, let's go to the TV from Phase 4. WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and then She-Hulk. Now, I just threw out, I don't even know how many that was, 3, 6, that makes...
Much, man.
12, 14. 14 properties.
That's so much garbage. Oh, my God.
To your point, out of those 14 properties, what the hell have we gotten out of it?
I've watched maybe a few. So I've only seen the movies. I've watched maybe part of a show. And the thing is, even the shows that people like.
Well, have you seen WandaVision?
I've seen the beginning of it, and then I dropped it because it ended, and my friends were like, "You need to end it right now because it gets horrible." And I went, "Okay." So and I had no urge to watch the rest of it.
WandaVision, basically, Wanda turns into the Scarlet Witch, and you find out that she is probably the most powerful witch, mutant, whatever you want to call her, in the galaxy, and she can create basically new multiverses, right? She can create different kind of timelines, different realities. That's what you get out of that one, right? Falcon and Winter Soldier, they hand off the shield to Mackie. He's whatever Falcon. I forget what's his actual character name.
I just know him as Falcon.
I forgot what it is, but anyway, the character that Anthony Mackie plays, who everybody knows as Falcon, he gets the shield in that one. Loki, you have Multiverse Introduction Part 2, where there's multiple Lokis, and at the end they basically kill Kang the Conqueror, or at least one version of Kang the Conqueror, and then they show the timeline as it splits, and there's 8 million different realities, and everything seems to break, right? So,
I'm so excited.
What If is another, it's the cartoon version of,
but then they try to tie that in together, I heard.
Right, 8 million different renditions. Hawkeye, nothing. They introduced a young female girl who I'm sure they'll hand the Hawkeye moniker over to down the road.
Okay. Yeah,
Moon
that's going to
Knight,
go great with all those movies she doesn't have upcoming.
Right. Moon Knight didn't relate to anything. Miss Marvel, I didn't watch, but just another...
Moon Knight's not even a part of this. What the fuck?
Yeah, Miss Marvel introduction to a new superhero. She-Hulk, I don't even know. So, if you want to look at multiverses, you have basically WandaVision, Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and Loki. Seem to be the movies that have some impact in here.
Yeah.
But what I can't understand, and I know you haven't seen all of them, it sounds like, but maybe you understand.
Shang-Chi, I've gotten blowback on this. I fucking hated that movie.
I just thought it was boring.
I thought it was... The beginning was... I think I got let down because the beginning was really cool with, this bus fight scene. And then, the ending was just this CGI bonanza of nonsense, more so than the other ones. And I just was rolling my eyes so hard at that.
Yeah, with the dragons and the mountain. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of just lost it after a while because, I need to know where I'm going. And I think in that movie, I just didn't know. And eventually, without that, I just kind of get lost.
Yeah, 1 bajillion%.
And I feel like that's kind of all of these things. I don't know where any of these have steered us.
Look at Phase 5, dude. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, so I got Phase 5 lined up, but you can go through it and rip through and throw some of the names out there.
So they have Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Quantumania, baby.
They're doing Secret Invasion. Good luck with that. Oh,
yep,
my God.
Secret Invasion is on the TV side.
Yeah, okay. And then they got Guardians. Okay, hopefully Guardians of the Galaxy's all right.
Guardians 3's movie.
Mm-hmm. Echo. I don't even know what Echo is.
It's some TV property. I don't know. Yeah. I have no clue either. So I'm right there with you.
And they get 2 more. They got Loki Season 2 and The Marvels, which sounds great.
Yeah, it's a movie.
Blade. Ooh, wait, Blade. Wait, the Vampire Hunter?
Yeah, they're bringing him back with Marsha Ali as the Blade character. Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah. They signed him on.
Kind of pumped for that.
There was some internet suspicion of whether or not they would do multiverse and bring back Wesley Snipes as well.
Yeah, I would be okay with that. That would be fucking hilarious.
I'd like to see it. I mean, Wesley Snipes is a little old now.
No, they're bringing in Ironheart as a TV show.
Ironheart's a TV show, correct. There's the female heroine.
She's the most eye-rolly of fucking Marvel heroes, and that's saying something.
And it's going to be disjointed because they already, Funko Pop released an action figure, and people have looked at it, and it looks junky as all hell. So, but they're like, oh, that's her Mark 7 suit. That's the first one she made, just like he made the one in the what do you call it? In the cave in Afghanistan. And
with a bunch of scraps.
Right. Yeah. It still looks even worse.
Yeah, not pumped. Agatha Coven of Chaos. Who the fuck is she?
So you didn't watch all of WandaVision, but she was the bad guy in WandaVision, and people loved her so much and loved the performance of the actress. Yeah. It's the same actress from Bad Moms. She plays the real drunk and have you seen Bad Moms? Pretty good series.
Yeah, my mom watched it. Yeah. Wait. This is the woman who played the politician lady from Parks and Rec?
I didn't watch Parks and Rec, so I don't know if it is, but
I'm double checking. I think that's her. What
she
the
smashed
fuck?
it out of the park, and they gave the bad guy Agatha. They were like, okay, we're going to greenlight a series because we need content. So here you go.
What the fuck, dude?
Here's
Seriously?
8 series. Yeah.
I mean, oh, wow. Well, that's a plot twist, I suppose. But she must have killed it. Really, damn. They gave her
People
her
loved
own
her.
series.
People
Okay.
loved her.
Okay, I won't. You know what? Not even gonna.
I thought she was
I'm
okay,
gonna-
but I thought the show made it. I mean, to me, the thing I liked about WandaVision was the actual
Yeah.
style
And
of
if
the
we-
show and how they made fun of,
Yeah.
basically TV shows of decades past, right?
And if we've learned anything, it's that too much of a good thing is always a good idea and can never go wrong. There's no way this is going to backfire.
It's just
We're
like
doing
Breakfast
Daredevil.
Club.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
like to smoke, Johnny? Here you go.
Yeah.
Here's a whole box of cigars. Smoke them all.
So they're doing Daredevil.
Yes.
But they had the Netflix Daredevil, which was really good.
Right, but I
Like,
don't
what
think there's
is
going to
this
be
gonna
any
be?
kind of relation.
Okay.
Now they did
Same
bring
actor,
back,
right?
yeah, same actor, Charlie Cox, right?
Yeah.
Or is Charlie Cox the actor, or is he
Yeah, I think it's the actor. I think it's the actor.
Matt Murdock is the
Yeah,
actual
the
character
character.
name. Yeah. So they did bring Charlie Cox back. They also brought D'Onofrio back to play Kingpin.
Punisher?
And he
Oh,
was
no.
Kingpin, and he was in Hawkeye, which is the only reason I want to finish Hawkeye is because I want to see D'Onofrio back.
Yeah. He was a
So-
good character.
But all right, so here's the movie rundown of 5.
And
We
then
touched about it.
Thunderbolts. Ugh.
Yes. So we got Ant-Man and Wasp, Quantumania, Guardians 3, The Marvels, Blade, Captain America, the new one with Anthony Mackie, and
Yeah.
then Thunderbolts, which is the conglomeration of all the kind of like third-string superheroes. They're talking about Punisher. They're talking about Agent Agent
Agatha, probably. I
America.
don't know.
No,
Yeah.
like Red Hulk,
God, make
a
me
whole
roll my
smattering
eyes.
of guys that they've introduced. And then on the
Yeah.
movie, on the TV side of it, we've got What If, Secret Invasions, Echo, Loki, Ironheart, Agatha, and then Daredevil. So that wraps up 5. Now, think about multiverse, though. Where's the How does the multiverse factor into this? I don't.
Quantumania, I see it being in, and that's it. That's really it. I don't know if I'm gonna do
Quantumania,
these
right?
other ones.
I
That's
mean-
the only one. Maybe Guardians, you could throw it in there somehow. I don't know how else.
I mean, Secret Invasions, aliens, it's not. I just don't see multiverse. So now.
Oh, goody. Yeah, I just saw Phase 6. This doesn't look depressing.
Okay, so Phase 6 only has 3, right? So, but I guess the grander point that I'm trying to put the spotlight on is that through 4 and 5, if this thing is the multiverse saga and that's where we're going in Phase 6, I mean, what have we done?
Dude, have you seen the VFX industry in Hollywood is going, we are not excited about the Phase 5 and 6
Oh yeah,
announcements
well there's a
because we
huge revolt right now.
Yeah, they were really upset. Oh, man.
Well, you got to read the stories. Supposedly, the VFX people have all turned around and said, "Screw Marvel. We don't want anything
Yeah.
to do with them because they pay us peanuts and then they just
What?
grind us to the bone."
Whoa,
Because they're
saying that
Marvel.
Hollywood abuses animators?
I know,
That's
can you believe
never happened before. With the people that have the most arduous, time-consuming job of them all are the ones who get paid the least and most abused.
You mean the people in power that have
What?
all the leverage take advantage of those that have no leverage? I've never
Yeah,
heard of that before.
That's so interesting. I've never heard of this happening before.
Sit at a poker table, asshole. You'll learn it real quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, God damn. But they're doing Fantastic
But that
Four.
guy has such a big stack. He keeps pushing. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
That's the game. Fuckface. Yeah.
Kang
So
Dynasty and Secret War.
Yeah, so-
dude, what the fuck? Oh my god, I'm not excited about this.
Phase 6 is Fantastic Four, Avengers Kang Dynasty, followed up by Avengers Secret War. Now, a couple issues with all of this. Number one, I don't see multiverse in anything. We had a little bit
Yeah.
of it in 4, but with what's laid out in 5 and 6, I don't know how they make multiverse a big, huge thing here. I know they're trying to get the
No.
Secret Wars, but look, you have no Hulk, no Captain America, not the original, no Iron Man, no Black Widow, no Deadpool, no X-Men. None of those are on the list. Spider-Man isn't on the list in 5 and 6, but they said they got plans for him, so he'll be in.
Okay, good. I was gonna say he's like the only franchise I really give a shit about.
Right.
anymore.
Kang hasn't been introduced in the movies at all yet. He's only been introduced in Loki, and he's supposed to have a big piece of the end of this, yellow brick road here because they've got an Avengers Kang Dynasty. Now, is this going to be a thing that works exactly like, Thanos, where you don't see him until the final two movies, and then it's like, oh, we're going to get to know him now because we have to.
Yeah, and put him in everything. Put him in everything now.
Jam him in there. I still don't know who actually made the multiverse. I don't know if it was Doctor Strange and his botched spell, or if it was Kang getting killed in whatever Loki.
That
clue.
sounds like one of those things they should have had a meeting about, and then they briefly covered it, and then they're just like, we'll just write on the show here. Yeah, what's the big deal?
Now, the multiverse doesn't actually factor into Secret Wars, which everybody believes to be the end of it, because Avengers Secret Wars.
Is this Skrull Invasion or Secret Wars where they all go?
Well, that's Secret Invasions. Secret Wars. So.
Okay.
Secret Wars doesn't factor into the multiverse. Secret Wars does factor into the character of the Beyonder. So in Secret Wars, the Beyonder it basically, and we were talking about this a little bit last week.
This is such a nerd conversation, but I understand so much of what you're saying. That hurts me.
Well, Mattel wanted new toys.
Yeah.
So back in the day, He-Man was popular. Go watch Toys That Made Us.
Secret Wars is when Venom first appears, right?
Yes.
So that's when
Yes. They wanted
They
wanted new characters. They wanted a new Spider-Man because they wanted to sell new toys. So Mattel wanted to cover their back because they had He-Man, but they were afraid that if the comic books and superheroes got big again, they wouldn't have properties. So they were like, we'll do this, but you have to do some kind of big comic book thing. And they did Secret Wars. Guy called the Beyonder comes in. He grabs all the different superheroes and supervillains and puts them on a planet called Battle World, and then has them basically face off against each other. They sell toys.
Cool. It also sounds stupid expensive. It sounds very expensive.
But I don't know how it factors into the multiverse.
It doesn't. Well, maybe that he grabs them across the multiverse. This is me doing their job for them.
I don't know. I have no clue. Again, we're through Phase 4, and yet I can't possibly see how Phase 6 works. And that's the biggest question mark that I have now, is because before it was easy. There are Infinity Stones. They put them all over the place. Each movie kind of featured one. Eventually, Thanos comes, grabs them all, and then everybody's got to beat Thanos, right?
Yeah. So, as a side topic, though, to that, and back to the original thing of the first three phases, no matter what people thought of them kind of overall, they were pretty solid. Phase 4, the consistent thing I'm hearing is that people are just kind of over the Marvel series as a whole since Endgame. And most of Phase 4's content, from what I understand, I haven't watched all of it, but I've seen Spider-Man, I like that, and everything else I've heard pretty average things about. Do you think this franchise is on, maybe not, it's not out tomorrow, but do you think this is it's starting to bleed?
Oh, I don't think I don't know how you could think any differently.
It's
right.
Just,
the luster's gone to an extent.
Yeah. Endgame to me was when I first went, okay, its days are numbered now, and it's only a matter of time before they reboot the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Maybe they'll take a break once it's finally done, and then eventually they'll still test the waters with another Iron Man movie or something like that.
Right.
But I got to imagine this is dying soon. It's like comic books where they reboot them every couple of fucking years when they're like, oh, this got too ridiculous, and reboot the universe.
Exactly. I think you might. Hold on 2 seconds. My youngest son came down. Let me talk to him for 2 seconds, and we'll be back.
Go for it, man.
And we're back. So, I think that the luster definitely has, faded from this, because once you hear people talking about a property where what they're really looking to do is make fun of it and bash it instead of, in anticipation of how good it might be or what it's going to add, it's all downhill from there.
Yeah.
Once it's become the joke and the punchline more than anything else, I think the best days are behind.
Yeah. It's just, I have not seen people, that's it, they're still making a shit ton of money on each one of these properties. Maybe not on the TV shows as much, I assume.
There's nothing else in the theaters. What do you want them to watch?
there is nothing else in the theaters. What else do people watch?
Zero.
The Top Gun was really solid, but that was like the only thing that was watchable in that movie theater, which was sad. Yeah, what the fuck is up with movies nowadays?
They're just
all they make are super. Maybe that's their own fault. It's your own fault. Marvel's the only thing that's there.
Well, you want to know what's even crazier is that between now and the end of this road, there's 3 years. That's it.
Wait, what? Oh, what you mean for Phase 6?
Yeah. Avengers Kang
Serious?
Dynasty is May 2025. Secret Wars is November 2025.
Whoa, wait. 1,
So they
2,
have
3, 4,
3 years
5,
and
6,
3 years
7,
only.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 fucking properties in 3 years?
And they haven't even announced 6. So it's going to be just drinking from the fire hydrant.
Oh, and they haven't even announced the TV shows that are coming out yet for 6. And there's probably a Spider-Man project somewhere in there. And there's probably going to be sequels to like Moon Knight and some other shit. Oh, they're fucked.
How long was the first burn was 10 years?
Yeah. Dude.
And they're doing this next one in 3?
Dude, that is
4?
so fast. That's so fast.
Yeah.
Why are they doing this? That's too much.
Because I think that they understand that the end is near. That's the only thing I can think of.
You think that's it? Like they're just trying to like get as much money as they can while the tap is still going, or is it just like maybe they're just like this is the only content Disney can put out, and so this is just what they're putting everybody on?
Well, they've got to be super nervous at this point because you have the Deadpool property and the X-Men properties that are super
Those
popular.
are probably gonna be there too. Yeah.
And I mean, if you play your cards wrong, nobody's going to care anymore. Mm-hmm. I mean, people might care about Deadpool because it's kind of more of a comedy and a Ryan Reynolds, vehicle than anything else.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But by the time the X-Men come out, if you've botched the rest of the MCU, then people are going to be like, it's X-Men.
Yeah, and no one's ever botched the X-Men before, so this is going to be a really, really smooth ride for these people.
And if Marvel has hopes after Avengers, and I imagine, or Secret Wars, which I imagine they do because, how many X-Men movies are going to throw in the next 3 years? Probably not that many. So I'm sure that they're thinking that the X-Men is going to lead us into the next generation along with, Fantastic Four. Where the hell do you go with phases 7, 8, and 9?
I don't. I just hope it's dead at that point. That's my only real hope anymore. This just sounds there's just too much, man. Like have something different. Netflix even has like more variety than this, and it's Netflix, and all they do is make live action versions of TV shows I loved as a kid.
Right.
It's like Avatar: Last Airbender live. Why are you doing this? Stop this right now. This is the worst.
I just don't know. It really is puzzling, and we've talked about it a bunch about how. What do you do with this at this point? Because you're going to have to salvage it at the end, and you're going to have to try to stick the landing and carry it forward into the next 3 phases. And, you've shoveled so much garbage at people, in the short term that, people have, only so much tolerance for garbage.
Before you just get exhausted by. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been. But it's just like, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. They're going to do this much in 3 years.
Well, the bonus for us is that
we get to talk shit. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we do. Exactly. And on top of that, also, we have another property that's kicking off that I think we're going to dive into next week. So, now that we've killed Star Wars, we've killed MCU.
You say we've killed, but we will be coming back whenever they inevitably release one of their 40 million more bits. But we got more shit next week.
But Game of Thrones is coming back. And so House of the Dragon, right?
Oh, boy.
So
get to tear into this.
I figure what's going to happen to this show as we start up with House of Dragon is that the weeklies will probably be reviews of House of Dragon. After they premiere, I think it's Sunday night, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So why don't next week we dive into it, because this is going to be your baby, because I caught up with you, but you are the House of Thrones aficionado.
Yeah.
So let's do a recap and get ourselves ready for House of Dragon.
I am so down for that. I will not be rewatching season 8, but I will do a skim if I need to, because fuck that season.
That's
my god.
That's what I'm talking about. So
yeah.
We'll get into everything that's Game of Thrones next week in preparation for our reviews of the new series and see if they can salvage that one.
Okay,
I think it's probably the best route to go, for August, right?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
It's what everybody wants to watch. So, all right, cool. Well, you enjoy yourself. Get us some. You're the guy in the city. You're the youth. You're dating the girls that are talking about politics at dinner and stuff.
Oh, it happens way more frequently than I would like.
Yeah. So you got to come back with the stories for next week. All right.
I'll do my best.
That's your job.
No tests next week, so we're golden now.
Yeah. Go ransack a jewelry store or something. Yeah. What all the kids are doing nowadays.
Easy.
All right. For the Thrill and myself, peace. We will talk to you next week.